Since a lot of what I help people with is helping them do the things that they mean to be doing, a lot of what I work with is people who will occasionally wind up in sort of a trap, feeling guilty over what they haven't done. And what I want to emphasize today is that I've never seen that help. I've never seen it have a positive outcome. I've never seen it help lead someone back into working. It actually just bogs us down. It makes it harder to get back into it. It makes us feel bad about thinking about it. And that makes it hard for us to get back into doing something. And I understand that it's not something that's totally in anybody's control, right? I mean, partly it's a very natural feeling to feel shame over, I meant to do such and such, but I didn't quite get to it, or something else came up, or whatever it might be. But, point today is just that, to the extent that it is within a little bit of our steering and our control about deciding which feelings we're okay with harboring, which feelings we want to find ways to replace, or see if we can gradually and gently steer our way away from. Feelings of shame and guilt generally don't help lead us to be productive. And I mention this in part because when I talk to people about it, one of the things I sometimes hear is that they support the feeling in a way that they feel like it's going to help them do it. That they think it's serving them well. That by feeling guilty or by feeling shame over having not done something, that's going to then compel them in the future to not miss their targets. Because they don't want to have that feeling again. But the difficulty is, it's not like a short-term punishment. It stays with us. It's not like a one-time, reprimand or fine that goes away. It hangs over us. And so as much as possible, and again, to accept it's not 100% our control, but a little bit that it is, to recognize that it's counterproductive to feel that way. That as much as we can, it's best to try to build off where we're at, as if we're starting from scratch. That if we'd woken up today, and here is our situation we're dealing with, here's our opportunities forward, here's what we can do next, without regard for how yesterday didn't maybe quite live up to our hopes or expectations. It's also the sort of thing that we talked about the other day. Who was the chat with? It was with our guest speaker for GAM Keto Club. We released the podcast. Liz Reddington had a great chat about this, where when people get into these sort of spirals and they mean to do something, meant to do something, fall behind on something, kind of become a little disconnected, the shame and guilt make it hard for them to fix it. But as soon as they put it out in the open, as soon as they talk about it, as soon as they, mention, okay, well, I didn't get 100% done. Here's the 30% that I did get done. And focusing on the part that we did get done is how we keep moving forward, because that 30% is still 30% more than maybe a lot of other people might have. And by looking at it for what it is, by being honest about it, maybe sometimes what it was, maybe our estimates were wrong. Maybe that's really the skill we're failing. Maybe we're actually getting as much programming, design, reading, art, practice, whatever it might be in, or as much fast forward progress as we can on our business in a given period of time. And maybe the error was our estimating ability was bad, which that's always tough. It's something experts have a hard time with. So in those kind of cases, what we can look at is, okay, well, how much, if what we meant to do and what we got done don't fall into alignment. You don't want to assume infallible the assignment that it was a realistic amount to do in the first place. It's not like when we're in school, we have things doled out to us where it's sort of been set up for us to win. It's not like when you play a video game and a level's been designed to make sure that you go into it prepared with everything you need to succeed at the puzzle. In real life, in adult life, where we're often assigning ourselves challenges, it's entirely possible that we got it wrong from the side of the person doing the assignment. And so that's something else we can only learn from if we accept that, I got certain things done, I didn't get certain things done. I'm not going to let that weigh me down. I'm going to try to improve my estimating ability. I'd like to improve as much as I can, doing a better job of sort of calling my shots. So in the future I can do the things I mean to do and say I'm going to do. But we only do those things if we can maintain a positive attitude about our connection to our work, our connection to our creative projects, our feelings about when we give ourselves time to do it, we know we're not going to come out of it with a really negative sort of weighing ourselves down, feelings of shame and guilt. Just doesn't really do us a lot of good. But I'd be curious to hear, obviously this is my experiences, this is my observations, people I've trained and worked with. In the comments, I'd be curious to hear, has that been consistent with your feelings, with your observations of your own work? How has or hasn't shame or guilt factored into your learning process, your creative process, your technical progress, and so on? Thank you as always for tuning in. I'll have another video for you all tomorrow.